Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Project here, and I'm here with another episode of GME Reviews. And today's episode is about a game called A Way Out. A Way Out is pretty recent. It came out this year, and I just thought it was a pretty unique game. And I was like, let me, create a review on this or a discussion. And yeah, these are my thoughts. First and foremost, A Way Out, you can't play the game unless you have another person. There's no AI or anything in it. Which I really enjoy. I mean, it was kind of like, oh, well, what if you just want to play by yourself or whatever. Now, this isn't a game, for you. It's strictly a co-op game, which is nice, because I think the fundamental dynamics of the game kind of force you to really respect the other person that you're playing with. Like, there were moments in the game where I was an observer, where you have to watch your partner do something because you can't, or you're stuck, or I don't know, something, and you're forced to just observe, your friend do this thing, and you're like, biting your nails because you're like, oh, are we gonna have to redo this? And like, they do a really good job when it comes to creating that sense of urgency and just keeping things in motion and like moving, and it really connects you with the pressing vibe of the main story arc. Another thing that I found creative and enjoyable about A Way Out was actually the mini games. They have these like little mini games that you play, like during a mission, like you'll just come across Connect 4 or something, or you'll come across darts. And it's just a moment where it's just like pure competition with your the friend that you're playing with. Like, and I just think that that's really cool. On the other side, I did kind of find myself, unfortunately, kind of skipping over some of the mini games in the very beginning, just because, of the pressing nature of, I'd say, the main story, and that's something that I kind of battled with. Towards the end of the game, I got a little more laxed and eventually just tried out a few of the multiplayer options within the games and competition, and that's where I actually had some of the most memorable moments. The character development in the game is something that I definitely have to mention. This game doesn't necessarily start with a motive. You're kind of just like thrown into this situation, and you're like, wait, what's going on? And as the game progresses, you learn more about the characters, and I enjoyed that I learned more about the characters than the point of like the story, if that makes any sense. Like, it felt they worked very well together. The character development and the story, the overarching story progression, they worked well in tandem. And I think that this game relied heavier on the character progression, which then allowed you to connect deeper with the ultimate story and certain decisions that you personally can make within that story. I'm kind of conflicted here because it's like, I feel like the characters were great. I felt connected to both of them, but at sometimes it did feel like it was almost like it was a combination of over and under acting. And in like certain aspects of the characters, I felt like they stayed, like they were a little bit too rooted in their mentality. It just felt forced. It felt like, and maybe, that maybe it's just a personal preference, but I definitely kind of had my moments where I was like, you aren't like listening to reason. And, or like, have you guys ever played those games where they give you choices? I feel like with this game, unfortunately, it did feel like a good and a bad path. It didn't feel, as even balanced, and I felt like it kind of leaned more towards one character's path that seemed more like the right path, if that makes any sense. So that was one of the issues that I had with the game. And I don't know if it was a new developer or not, but like there were a few glitches that I kind of came across. And I mean, they were minor. I'm not like a stickler for glitch. Like I really don't care too much. But there were a few moments where I was like, what? But I was driving a car, and the car just like blew up or like flipped over out of nowhere, and I was like, what happened? I don't know, strange. But and like the controls are a little stiff, but yet again, like there's plenty of games that are blockbuster hits that controls are stiff. Something else that I wanted to add as far as one of the just unique kind of components of the game were, because this isn't just like a standard multiplayer game where one player can be better than the other and then like that's it. Like this other person can kind of carry you, like we see it all the time in a lot of games, but with this one you really do have to work together. Like you can't get past certain points without communication and like working together. There were definitely moments, and I'm sure you guys, if you end up playing it or if you have played it, there are moments where you guys end up yelling at each other, but like, what the heck, bro? Like I needed you to do this, or you didn't do this, or where were you, or you were supposed to cover me, or all this kind of stuff. And yeah, it really does kind of cause you to work together as a team, from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. The friend in which that I was playing with, like we were like in the beginning was just more like, oh man, like just like butting heads, and then towards the end it was like, okay, you do this, you do that, go. We evolved as a team, and I thought that was really fun. It was brilliant. Another aspect of A Way Out that makes it fun is the fact that it kind of teeters the line of like reality and then like just playing out outlandish stuff happening in situations. It just had a good balance. I did feel it's like watching those those old school like Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Like it's just outlandish enough or just far-fetched enough to where you're like, what? But then it balances itself out with maybe the emotional connection you have with the characters, or somewhat of a decent plot, so where it just kind of just like, oh no, I believe it, like it's like watching the first Mad Max or something. You're like, okay, like what just happened? Sure, that didn't make any sense, but hey, it makes sense enough to where it's like I want to know more. A Way Out is a really good game. Definitely recommend it to anybody that wants to play something with a friend, with a partner, with a loved one. Like it really is a good blend between cinematics and really fun gameplay. The mini games will keep you occupied to where you are kind of pitted against each other, testing your skill, and the dialogue and the story development and character development really make the game a solid piece. So definitely check it out. It was a good game. Thank you guys so much for checking out GME Reviews. Please hit that like. Please hit that share. But yeah, just thanks for watching. All right, we appreciate you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah. It's my plan, and I decide what goes down. You got that?
Sure. Whatever you say.
I mean it, man. You fuck this up, I'll kill you myself.
Yeah, I get it. So what's your plan?
You'll know soon enough.